Okay, so welcome to part 32. We're going to make our reloading look way better than it was. So let's begin by removing the weapon from the parent gunsway and resetting the transform. And now we're going to get to ProBuilder and tell it to give us the window. I'm going to actually click ProBuilderize to make this object a ProBuilder editable object so that we can edit it. Otherwise you actually can't even edit it. I'm going to change this value to 0.8 in the editing scale so that because I know that I just have to scale it, and there you are. See, I just scorched all the faces by doing Command A or Control A on Windows, and then scaled it once using Command to get that snap of 0.8. Now let's select this edge by going into the edge select mode and then selecting this one. Down here we can click set pivot. Now you can see how the pivot of the gun has come right there. I'm going to call this mesh, then I'll create an empty game object and call this one the AK-47 weapon. Reset the transform of both of them and drag mesh into the AK-47. So now we have the mesh different from the original game object. Drag them out of the mesh and keep the mesh separate. So now that we did that, everything is messed up. You can see how the mag parent's right there, and we'll fix that in a bit. But before we do that, just hit reset on all of them except for the mesh. Even if you do that, it wouldn't matter. Now let's scale it back to 10 by 10 by 10 on the muzzle flash. And the mesh, so on the mesh we need to drag the weapon script to the AK-47 and the cinemachine and try to put the audio, well, the audio source won't go, so we'll just put it manually on the fire point, which is where the original sound should come. Alright, so we've assigned the correct audio clip. Yep, done. Now we can delete it from here. Right click, remove. So you can see it actually added a ProBuilder mesh filter when we made it a ProBuilder object. So now we can remove the mag, but let's just snap it at 0.25. Let's set this back to 1. Just snapped it up using Command or Control and then just drag it up once. Now let's select faces. So you can see that in the video it's giving it's not showing yellow. Well, it's giving a missing reference. Let's just assign those. Mag parent, and the fire point audio source. Now let's continue. Yeah, we don't have a mag yet, but once we do. So you can see how these faces are coming, they look like racing flags, but in your editor you'll see them as yellow color, whichever you select. So I'm just doing select loop, select face ring. It usually does well, and it's got everything now, I think. So let's look at it from the other side. Yes, this will look yellow colored, not like that, not like this dotted white, it's I don't know why this happens, but whenever you record the screen it just shows it something like this, not like yellow at all. Alright, so I'm just gonna drag this to see what is happening, if the upper part's okay or not. Right here we can see that the max pivot is not good. Let's just do Command Z to position it back. Then let's hit center pivot. So now it is centered. And remember to detach those faces, just have to select detach face. That's what I did after I collected all the faces. Now, as we have this open area, we're gonna simply select this one edge and say fill hole, and it will automatically create one for you. That should do it. Now we can re-enable the mesh, and you'll see that there's no difference, except for we now have a different game object for the mag. The package manager is just reloading. It's a bit off positioned. I'm not sure why that happened. So it should be 0 on the X as well. I'm just gonna put it at 0. Yep, 0. So now it looks okay. You can just do Command S and then save project, or Control S and then save the project. We can leave the ProBuilder window now, and let's continue now to the next part. Alright, so now we need to have a reload pulpit. Originally the AK-47 should have a reload pulpit somewhere here, but because it doesn't, we're gonna create our own. So let's create a new cube. Oh, it's too big. Let's just scale it down to 0.1. Alright, here it is. Let's just scale it down to 1. Back. Let's do tools, ProBuilder window again. Well, ProBuilder window, and we're gonna ProBuilderize this one as well. Click it once and it should make it ProBuilder. So you can see we can now select the faces. We'll select all of the faces. We're doing Command or Control A. Set the scale to 0.9 at snapping values. Then do Command or Control and just scale it once. Small. Secondly, we're gonna go and tell to center the pivot. Alright, now we have a centered pivot. Now the small cube. Now the problem is it's not that small yet, so we still have them all selected, and this time we're going to modify it using the transform editing. So I actually need to edit this. Set the move increment to 0.01 and then do command to snap it. So snap. Now I'm gonna actually get it to where I think it's looking good, to look like a reload blueprint. Alright, so I think this looks pretty good, and let's just do Command Z or Control. You're into smoothing editor. From here we'll see it's not working. I think something's wrong. Let's just go back to the object mode, and pivot is again messed up, so it's not looking smooth, meaning the smoothing did not do anything yet. To make the thing to work, let's just center the pivot again. Now select smoothing, and let's select it at 14. Let's try at 23. Alright, so the shape looks a little funny, but it's good enough, I think. Yeah. Okay, so the smoothing has done pretty good. Now we need to give it a material. So let's see what happens if I drag this one on it. Well, it's not looking great, so we'll have to create our own. Let's see if we have any different ways of really, like, you know, spreading the text differently on it. No, so it doesn't work. We need to pass in the correct material. So let's create a new material, and we're going to call this one the reload pit material. Package manager, installing it again. Anyway, so we're going to set this to something like what, silver type, I don't know. Let's see what we set it to. 200 by 200, maybe 220, 260, 70, 80, 90. Let's put this one 120. Alright, so sorry about that. Snap actually was finding out what's the silver color code. Anyway, this looks a bit odd. I'm gonna change it to specular, so it gives us some type of shine. Smoothness to something like 1, maybe. Try at 0.7. Then again, the color has been set 192 by 192 and 192. You can just drag it a little over. I think it keeps the same. Alright. Maybe I should modify this one. 220. Let's try out that. Maybe 160. Let's see. I think let's just keep it 192. So now on this cube we can assign the reload pulpit material. So still the cube seems pretty big to be looking like a reload pulpit. We're going to set the 0 on 0 and 0 on all X, Z and Y. X, Y, Z. Then try to position it correctly to where I know the mag is supposed to, the reload pulpit should be. Now I have seen how it looks, so I know where to position it. Yeah, anyway, let's select this side. I'm again gonna use the snapping to get it correct, then snap it down. Oh, that's too much. And on the x-axis. Now again, let's see, the pivot has been messed up. We can hit center pivot. I think that looks good. You still need to make it a bit smaller on the X. Again, face selection mode, and yes, something like that. Then just drag it a little bit manually, no snapping. Alright, center the pivot again. We should, it's too long right now on the X, so you're gonna select we'll get it to the edge and then actually see how much I should take it down. Select that side and simply drag it inside. Alright, that does look good. I need to center the pivot finally, and now I think it's looking good. Position it a little inside, then I can drag it up here. Okay, alright, now that looks pretty good. Drag it a bit on the left. So now we have these positions. I'm gonna make them something like 0.025. Then on the y-axis, I think that's okay. 0.0735, and for this one, 2.4 is okay. 0.24 on the z-axis. 25 maybe. Alright, so it still looks like I should modify the z-axis to 0.23, 0.23, 24. Alright, so 0.24 is doing well, and now we can actually change the name of this object. I think we can name this reload ball pin, as that's what it is. So now we can just clear this. This is an error, just a control error, and some warnings. So we just do that. Copy. So we have these meshes. We can put them at the top. Real pull pin is the second, third mesh. Now dragging the mag as the mag. I'm going to drag I think I should rename this folder now that we actually know the name. So you can call it AK47. Then for the materials, we'll do that later. Right now, let's do ProBuilder. Export this asset. So the mesh main one, you're going to export it as an asset, a Unity mesh. Double click to get it into the correct place. So we have the models, guns. Right here we can find the folder that we are looking for, AK47. Save it there, and we have this mesh generated automatically. Now we could actually export it as FBX as well, but I think we don't need to do that right now. Now let's just put this one right near the mag parent. Let's go to ProBuilder again, and we're going to export the mag as well. This is going to be AK47 again, but this time it's the mag, so mag. And so providing it, so it's simply going to go directly into my assets. Yeah. Now I'm going to go into guns and the same place again. I need to find the folder. Yep, save. And we have both the meshes generated using the ProBuilder. Now the problem is, I'm sorry, let's just export this one first. This is going to be real pull pin, AK47. Well, AK47, reload, pin, pull pin, pull. Then I need to go navigate into the guns folder again, all the way down to the AK47 folder, save it right there. Now we have it. We have all of these in the project files. Now to actually get this useful, we just need to remove the ProBuilder mesh and then attach the proper mesh filter and assign them correctly. So the same thing for the mag. We're going to remove it. It's going to add a mesh filter, then add the mesh. Again for the reload pull pin, remove that, add the reload pull pin's mesh. Alright, remove the ProBuilder mesh now. So we have everything set up and there's no more ProBuilder meshes. So that should be clean and neat for us to continue. I'm going to actually, I think I should rename these to also be correct. Now that we don't actually need this one, as we already have them all saved in different ways, so we can right click and delete. For this materials, I think I should rename these ones and call them AK47 body. Maybe just AK47 rename. This is not Assault 1 anymore, it is actually AK47. And this is the defuse, so just make that big. Then for the normal map, again we need to give an n big AK-47. Alright, so now we have them all nice and neat. Now in the textures, we have to create a folder. Call this one the weapons folder. I'm gonna simply drag these two textures into the weapons folder. Close the textures folder. Now in the materials folder, I'm going to create a new folder. Call that one the weapons folder again. Take in all these materials. So that's it. Now we only have the mesh there. Create a new folder. Call this the basic folder of the materials. Just drag in all of the common ones. Yeah, drag in. That's it. Then we create a new folder. Call this one the environment in the short form. It's like these, like that one, and in they go. But I'll rename them one to other, so that's not actually environment, that's one. And this one. So that looks nice and neat, and you can save the project. Do Command S or Control S. What am I doing? Clear the clear that. Close these up using the arrow keys. You can. Oh, we actually need to create a new folder again here in the models folder. Close the player model. Drag in the Vanguard Siege Union, and I'm gonna rename this one. And instead of this Vanguard Siege Union, we're just gonna call it the player armature. And then press enter. In the rig we have everything set up already. So now we can actually move to the next part, and I think it's just about to start. I'm just gonna, yep, so basically when we actually did all of this stuff, we did not notice that all the rest of the things have actually got modeled up. So let's enable the player again. Drag the AK-47 into the player's right hand gun sway, gun holder, gun sway, whatever it is. Drag it inside and do press reset again, so that will position everything correctly, just like it's supposed to be. But what will happen when we actually hit the play button? You can already see an issue here, that the hand is not having correct positioning. So let's actually do that. Alright then, so now I'm back and we can clearly see everything's working fine. I've positioned everything correctly, and that would mean we have done everything, you know. We can reload, shoot, and do all we want, and we could head bob, and let's continue on the video. We can reload, we can shoot, and when we're actually shooting, I do think we should be shooting from the gun and not from the center of the camera, but I'll do that in some other video in the series. Right now I think we should do it from the center of the camera. Later on, when we're going to be having projectile weapons, I will be allowing that using the weapon scriptable objects if you want a projectile weapon or you want a raycast weapon. So right now it's okay to have it firing from the center of the screen. Now let's see what we can do for the weapon. Let's just define an animator for the weapon. Above there, in the references section, no, I think below the impulse. Let's create a space and a new header complete. Let's call this the animator. This actually handling the animator and things will be covered in the next part of this video, but I'm just going to do the basic setup in this part. So in the shoot, you can say animator again and say animator.setTrigger. Set trigger shoot. So the shoot trigger is going to be set. Now what if you had a shotgun? Now, every time a shotgun's fired, you have to reload, so the shotgun has a reload animation right after the shoot, and this will do well for that. I will be doing many weapons like pistols and other ones, so I'll be able to cover that and how to use the weapon system to actually get all of the time set up. Now public one, reload, set the trigger, reload. Alright, so once recoil up there, and generate the impulse. Now how will we actually call the reload function? That's quite simple. Every time we reload, we just need to call the reload function on the current weapon, not in the shoot method. Sorry about that. I just saved the script, even though I didn't make much changes. Now here we are in the reload function. I think we should do it right after we set the player animator, so that it all goes in sync. Call reload on current weapon before we set the trigger. So when you call reload, it's going to call reload there, that one will set the trigger, and then here the player animator will set the trigger of the player's animator actually. Now each weapon will need an animator component, so let's just do that in the next part. We'll do Command S or Control S, and we're back in the editor. And now we're gonna get to the weapon and begin the next part of this video. So let's add the animator component to the weapon, and given the animator reference it's asking for, let's just drag it right at the top, and now drag the animator reference. Set it to always animates, already set up like that. Anyway, we create a new weapons folder in the animator controllers. For now we're going to create a new animator controller, and this is going to be called the AK-47 weapon animator controller. It will be very simple with just 2-3 states. So in the parameters, we're going to create 2 parameters. Now because this AK-47 does not reload every time you shoot, it reloads only when you reload after you're out of ammo. So basically you just have the trigger so that we don't get any warnings and prevent those warnings, which is pretty good. It's going to keep setting the trigger, and there's no point in doing that anyway. But if you had a weapon which actually had states which were supposed to trigger every time the shoot is triggered, then you know what I mean, right? So we'll see that later on. Let's just rename this method by doing Command RR or Control RR, and just call it and left hand IK added on that side, because we are handling the left hand IK's weight here. So handling the left hand IK depending on the is reloading. But if we ever had some other reasons, then we could. So right now, because the the weight should actually always be set to 1. And toggle this one up, and just tell it to keep setting it to 1. Why we're doing this is the animation of the weapon is going to control the left hand IK transform, moving the left hand. Now I'm going to change this thing to, because we're actually modifying it every update, it should be left, should not be 0.1f, which is not a very great idea. It should be time delta time multiplied by left hand IK smooth weight speed, I think, whatever it is. Then we're going to copy that from there and simply make that somewhere. I think we should make it in the shooting region, paste it in there, create a float. It's supposed to be private, and it has to be a serialized field so that we can see it in the inspector, and set it to 20f for now. So it's going to not be a fixed number per frame. It's going to, let's just rename that one to speed also. It's got a long name, but you should always give your things useful names, whether it's too long or not. Now just gonna comment and say reload, save, and we're here. Alright, so let's create a new folder in the animations folder, call it the weapon. Then we'll save this project, double click to open it up, and we need to have some states now. Command 6 or Control 6 shortcut to open the animation window. Let's create a new animation, and this is going to be the reload animation, and we're gonna actually say idle first. I'm gonna put it inside the animations weapon, save it there. Then in the weapon folder we need to have specific weapons names as well, so we're gonna say AK-47, and this idle belongs to AK-47 because there might be many other idols for other weapons when we have them, and at that time we need to be careful not to mismatch the animations. Now let's create a reload animation, and we'll save it this time. We saved it again outside the folder, we'll drag it inside. We have both the animations set up. We can now make a transition to the reload and then transition back to idle. Based on the reload, we are going to transition to reload from idle and then back to idle once the reload animation is finished. So let's set it to reload trigger, then from reload to idle we'll set it to has exit time and not modify that. Has exit time. I think we will be modifying the transition settings in part 4, I think, of the video. I'm not sure which part it is, but now that we have done all the fixes and we have done almost all the transition animator setup for the weapon, it's time to actually keyframe those animations. Now let's just modify them to 0.9 and 0.1 as the exit time. Let's go to the next part 5 with it, or 6, I don't know. So now we're just gonna keyframe the animation. Let's do save and come here, and then let's do reload. We need to come up here, AK-47 weapon. Let's hit the play button, as we're gonna have to do this during play to actually have a good reference. We have already nice procedural recoil, everything's nice and looking good, but our reload doesn't look that great, so we're gonna fix that in this long portion of the video. It's about 50-60 minutes. Yeah, keyframing the animation is quite long. We'll change it to reload. Now let's go to the player model and select the reloading animation. Hit preview. We will have some issues. It's that the left hand will just try to keep holding that because we never turn it off. The only way to do that is to actually select it in the rig one and turn the weight off, but because we can't do that, it won't work. So we can turn off all these 3 down below, because these are actually 3 other target positioning weight and rotation weights, and the hint weights. It's actually an easy way to do this when you're willing to turn it off. So now the real animation will override everything. Hitting preview, you'll be able to see how the hand wants to do what. So let's see the animation. It's about 122 frames. So when does it actually begin doing something? So we can see he comes to take the mag out right about there. Here, what's this keyframe? Oh, it's blocking this out. I don't know why. Let's just hit enter maybe. Okay, it's gone. Now it will show us. So play mag in out is called there, but this is where he actually catches the mag, right? So on the 16th frame of the animation, it's gonna catch the mag. Alright. The mag might be pulled out in 20th frame, but catching the mag is 15. Alright. Back to AK-47's animator, we can select it and go to reload mode. Now, left hand IK's weight needs to be back to 1 so we can actually modify things. What? I need to select the weapon again. Then I need to change it to reload and begin keyframing. So I know that at 15 is when we need to actually do some keyframing. First, let's find the left hand IK transform and add a new keyframe of it. Then again, add a new keyframe for the rotation of its rotation. So it automatically creates 2 different keyframes, one at 16, one at 0. I'm going to delete this one, the 61, and I'm going to move to the 15 frame. And just press this red button. I mean, it will become red when you click it. Then that means you're now keyframing the animation. Let's just drag it to where we want it. Alright, going to global mode. And right about where it looks like he should be able to catch it. Yep. Alright, let's rotate it a bit like this. Global mode actually helps us to always have the axes not bundled up. Now this is looking pretty good. This looks pretty nice. So basically I'm now going to go and I'll return after I have done the whole animation. So now I'm back as the animation is finished and we have everything set up. So the using animation is perfectly fine, but the mag isn't moving at all, and the point of actually keyframing that animation was to get some nice mag movements, you know what I mean, right? So now we've done the testing, so I just skipped that small part and I just get out of play mode, and let's rename this one. I think we should call it this one 47 reload, or just keep it reload for now, because many of the weapons, if they have the right-handed reloading trigger, then they will need this animation. Right now we need to just define the reload method in the player model, because that's where we are going to actually call the animation event, and the reload function is going to be an animation event called by the animation at least I think 4 times. It's going to have int taken in as the step. So let's see, let's define a public void reload. We can take in an int and call the step, and then open the braces, and this we're going to do the rest and define the method in the next part. So this is now part number 6 of the video. Here we're gonna start by defining a variable, and we need a reference to the mag holding position. Well, actually I think, yeah, but we need it, right? So let's define it again. It's going to be the mag holding position. Basically it's a transform reference, as we need to actually set the parent and remove the parent like that, you know. Let's add a header and say space. Well, I don't know, I mean it's not space, it's audio clips, and then below here you can have it's just space, say space, and then header. This header can be references, yeah, short form. Let's begin writing out the reload function now. So if the step is equals 1, I think we'll only support 4 steps, so else if we can add the same step is equal to 2 this time, we'll add another one, and it's gonna happen 2 times more. Step is equals to 3, then again the final one, else if. We also, I think we should add an else be 4. So now all of these will have the code running in. Let's just add an else, and here we're just gonna do a debug log. It's gonna be a log error, as it's like an error. Somebody's put an invalid step, so reload step is unknown. Is it? Yeah, I think what should be what reload step cannot be other than the 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the only numbers supported right now. At the moment we don't have a 5th step. Final one is 4 and the first one is 1, and we have other steps. So in the animation event, let's do the first step one. So what will we do? We need to actually set the parent correctly. Set the parent, right? Not create anything. We need to parent the mag to the mag holding position. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. How to do that? Well, we need to have a reference to the player controller, which is already there. Then we have a public method which returns the current weapon. Then we can get its mag and its transform, and simply call set parent, and then pass in the mag holding position. Put pulse. That should do it. That's the first step. I'll put 1 line of code only. Now step 1, step 4. That's the step 3. That's the step 2. What do you do in the step 2 function? Well, the step 2 function, you have to create a clone of the mag and turn off the original mag. So we're not going to drop the original mag ever, but we're only going to create a clone of the original mag and just make it look like that mag fell down. Then we're going to turn the original mag off using the setActive function. So first we're going to do play control.current weapon.mag.gameObject, and we're going to say setActive to false. That's the step 2. Then we also want to spawn a new one. So how do we do that? Well, you just say game object, new mag game object. So now we're having a reference to that spawn one, and that's because I want to have a reference to it, and I'll do some other things with it as well. We need to add a rigid body and things like that. So now we can call instantiate and you can say play controller dot current weapon, and weapon inside the current weapon dot its actual. We need to actually have a reference to the mag, right? So we need to spawn the mag, the main object, the mag. We don't need a clone of it. Then the position, mag holding pass dot position. It's not giving an error, right? But it will give an error after we add some of the code, because it's not giving an error because of the, it's thinking that we want to parent it, but right now we will change that. So basically we're gonna give it the mag holding position. We don't want to give it anything except the, you just want to parent it to, you also want to, no, basically it's not the mag holding position. No, we don't want to do that. It has to be the mags dot position, the player controller dot current weapon, and we're gonna pass in dot mag. This will become a bit long, just become a bit longer, and this can get confusing, but just stay with me. And we've got the position, it's gonna be the position, comma, well it's giving errors, so we need to get the transform first. So dot mag transform, we have the transform dot position. Now it's gonna spawn at the rotation as well, so let's just copy this code, paste it in here, then just change the ending to rotation instead, and that's it. So now we have a reference to this instantiated object because we called it game object new mag, and we could also do it without having a reference, but then we wouldn't be able to add this component that we want to add. And the component we're gonna add is rigid body. There you are. So rigid body, add that component. Then we're gonna say new mag dot get component. So get that component now. Get component type of rigid body. Originally the rigid body sets itself as discrete math, and that won't actually help us out. So we need to set it to collision dot continuous dynamic to be able to prevent it from going through the floor. Discrete math is like it's gonna be above. It's not gonna actually, I mean, it just sometimes fails, sometimes it does correctly. It's not great. So we're gonna set to continuous dynamic, and then we're gonna add another component, decal destroyer. So this way it's gonna destroy it on itself in some time. Say new mag.game object dot set active and set it to true, because the new mag.set active true. The reason why I did this is originally the mag just turns itself off. So when you do the clone, all the settings of the previous mag is actually duplicated. Because it was set active as false, it's going to be set active as false originally, and after we instantiate it, you need to manually say it has to be true. So now we can do play controller in the step 3. We have to actually just enable the original mag again. So .mag.gameObject.set active and set true. That's all for this step again. Then we have the final step. Now what does the final step do? It just needs to set the parent and position and rotation to the mag parent. See, that's why we need the mag parent, because we need to position it correctly. Set the position to transform the set parent first. So let's set the parent of the player controller dot current weapon dot mag, well, yeah, so we'll say mag parent. After we do that, we also want to player controller dot current weapon, and we can do dot mag parent, mag dot transform dot position is equals to the current weapon's mag parent's position. Same thing for the rotation. So we'll copy this and just change it to the rotation instead. So paste, change it to rotation, and up there also rotation. That's the final step, and now that we've got all these steps ready, we can simply test it out. So if we don't have any bad references, yes, I think we've got it all set up. So let's first find the weapon. Yep, it seems everything's alright. So what I'm going to do is the mag is going to be actually parented to the mag parent, so I'm going to parent it already, so it doesn't just change the thing without any reason. So the mag should always be in the mag parent, and the mag's position should be 0 when it's parented to the child to the mag parent. Right, so what am I doing with the animation window? nothing. Let's see, let's go to the reloading. Well, let's see what I'm doing. Well, yes, I need to add those steps. Without them, nothing's gonna happen. So they're also gonna be animation events. So at 15th frame, I know we actually need to do the job correctly. And what are we gonna do? Well, in the 15th frame, it's giving us an error. I don't know why. Well, that's okay, because I'm not gonna use the bone renderer for any animation events. It's okay. So you don't. Yeah, see, it also has on enable. Yeah, maybe it does. Yeah, the rig builder does. That's causing trouble. Well, let's get to play foot sound. We've got play reload, and we have the reload function. So this is the first step at 15th frame. We're taking out the mag, and that's what we do. We take it out by setting the parents to mag holding position. Once that's done, then we can, let's see, AK-47 idle and reload animation. When do we actually do the other thing? So how will we find that out? Select the weapon, and let's see, reload animation. What time does it actually do something else? So I need to actually select the correct thing that's getting keyframed. What gets keyframed is the left hand IK transform. So basically, I think I did not make any different thing, but so I think it's number 60. Is it true to be 60? No, so 60 is where we actually take out another mag. So I'll try out maybe 52, maybe something like that. Let's see. 60. We need to do it at 60 frame. We're gonna save the model, reload, and pause in the next step, number 2. Now when we'll actually do third step? Let's see, AK-47 weapon. So I think we have made a mistake, just like I was doing it when I was recording. Basically, what's happening here is 60th frame is when he gets the new mag out, and then after that he goes back all the way up. But what's this? What's it doing here? Then he goes and reloads the thing. Alright. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so the player controller number 3rd actually says the mag active, meaning the 60th frame we need to pass in third step, not the second step. The second step had to be done before the 60th frame. Now what frame is that going to be? The place where we want him to drop the weapon. So what we need to do is hit the play button. Here we have to press play button. Let's see live what's happening. Alright, we just had a leak. I don't know why that happens. Forget it. Clear that out. Alright, we have the meshes. What's this? Anyway. Let's open the animation editor, and now we can see what we're doing. So I think 60th frame, take it out, and what frame do we actually, where should we call number 3, number 2? This is where it comes back up, so that's not right. Where does he actually supposed to drop the mag? So we're about there. So I think we can try at 43. Let's go back here, find the reload animation. Before we do that, we need to turn off the IKs on all of them, so that the weight doesn't affect. And now let's go to reload, see what's going on. So hit preview. So that's where he drops it, 41. Let's add the animation event right there, 40. Here's where we do the number 2 step. Reload int number 2. And for the 60th frame, so now that we have we've done the first one already correctly. Yep. But what about the 60th frame now? 60th frame has to be 3. Because the third step actually sets it active, meaning he took out another mag out of his DAG or whatever. Now that we have that done, we can set up the last one finally. To find out when to do that, we need to come here back, set the weights back to 1, change it to reload, and let's see what time we are actually putting the mag back in there. So now it's the 80th frame, I think. Let's get to the 80th frame. Where's the 80th frame? Here it is. Add the animation event, set it to play model, reload, pass in the final step, which is full. Alright, so we have everything set up now. Everything's set up, yep. Everything's done. Come out of play mode, and we can save the project, doing command S and controllers, and then save the project. Close the animation window, do option and left click, left key on the arrow key, one left arrow key, and option or alt, causing all of them to, it will close every and expand all the, basically not expand, do the, what do we say, basically close all of the small folders or type of thing, all the game objects, simply close everything, you know, whenever you do left arrow key. Anyway, let's see what's going on here. So yep, we have the mag getting spawned, and yes, it's perfectly synced with the hands, left hand. What's going on with the play model? We don't have the mag holding position. I'm not sure why we didn't get an error. Did we even make use of it? I suppose that's why it did not work that great, did it? If we are saying please set the parent to mag holding position on the first step, because it was null, he set it to null. That's the thing. So setting parent won't give us an error. We need to still give it a reference to be able to get him to set parent on null. That's why it was coming right out first. Let's find the left hand. I never created an empty game object yet. Good one, and let's say mag holding position. Now we simply assign it to the play mode. That's really all we need to do, and that should fix the issue that we were having. Play button, reload scripts. Alright, let's see what happens. So shoot again, and now if I hit the reload button, first the mag is gonna pair itself to the mag holding position, then come out. So let's see it live in front of the scene as well, and sideways angle. Reloading it, and wow, that looks pretty good. Except for, if you looked at it, there was a funny issue here. You can see how that hand just wobbles and gets there. It's not able to get there nicely, and doesn't actually complete the whole reloading position. It's something to do with the transition settings, and I'm gonna fix that in the final part of this video, which is just about to come in about maybe about 1 minute, and the next part's gonna start, and that's the part where we're gonna fix that transition issue. But after we do that, it's gonna all become okay. We're also having another issue, is the mag seems to be going underground, so we'll fix that in the final part of this video, which is just about to come, almost there. Let's just hit save, close everything, and make sure to save the project. Yes. So now the next part is going to start, and that's when I will come back. Maybe just add this nice little comment here. Close that, and yep, done. Next part starting. It's about to start. Yeah, come on. Save it. And the next part is about to start right now. Alright, so this is the part which we're going to actually fix those issues that I was talking about. First thing to do is to get to the mag parent and find the mag, and then let's see what we didn't do. So now, two options. One is to add a mesh collider and set it as convex. So if we hit convex on it, then only we can add a rigid body. So you can see how it looks now. But usually Unity doesn't recommend using mesh colliders. You should use them. If you use them anyway, you can use another primitive collider, like their own made ones. That's best. So I'm gonna use a box collider in my case, and not a mesh collider. That's it. That's for the first fix. Now the mag is not gonna go through the flow, and our player will be able to see it when he spawns. So let's look at the player to see this happening. Let's shoot, and then let's get ready to reload. So when I press the R key, there it is. You see the mag on the ground, and that'll become a tall building of mags if I keep reloading. So that's perfectly fine. Now let's open the animator on animation using command 6 or control 6. Open the window, select the play model, go to the reload animation, preview it, and now we'll see the problem. So basically we need to tilt the weapon a lot so that we can actually get it done. We need to tilt it full on the left side so that the left hand when coming to reload it and pulling the pull pin should look nice. Alright, trying to look for the correct one, and as I'm not able to find it yet, so don't follow me right now, just wait for some time. After I'm done, I will show what to do. Find which one actually will cause the effect. Nope, not this one for sure. Nope, no way. That looks very bad. Come on, Monty. Alright, that looks pretty good. So that's the one I'm gonna modify. Alright, right now I'm up down to something like 0.74. Seems good. Okay, alright, that looks pretty good. I will do the job. Don't care about the left hand. Just copy. How do we do that? Scroll all the way up, select it from the first one, copy it, and then delete this one. So what was the keyframe now? Command Z to see what was the final keyframe. 122. Now we can delete it and then paste the nice new one. Alright. Now that way it's gonna look good. Even though we changed the animation from the end, the pull pin still won't be pulled and will not look so great. The only way to fix that is to change the transition settings on the weapon. How do we do that? Right now let's just have a look at how it looks right now. So I'm going to shoot, and when will I reload it? Yes, I'm going to reload it now. And yes, so you still saw that it looks like he's not doing anything because it snaps to the next transition. It's like it's just running 80% of the animation, and the final part, which actually does the pull pin, is not running. That's something to do with this one here. Let's fix it out. So let's change the transition to 0.1. Let's try out 0.07. We'll just turn off fixed duration. See how snappy and what happens to it next. So if I select the weapon, we can do something with it as well. Here we have the fixed duration. Let's turn it off, set the fixed duration transition to 0 and see what happens. Maybe it will, but I think it's going to be a full snap now because of what I did. Yup, that was not good. That was not good. Well, we need to enable fixed duration, and we set it something like 0.1, 0.07. Transition settings have been lost because of the issue that we had. Let's see, maybe this is looking good. Basically, we need to allow the exit time to be extra so that it actually finishes the animation and then does the blending between the new state and the old state. Let's set the exit time to 0.8. Now to get to the perfect exit time, we need to create the transition again. So delete it and new transition. And now that this is 0.877, I know it will not work. So let's just change the transition to 0.07. And then let's go to play model, rifle. Here it's already set up correctly. Set the transition to 0.07. Enable the not save first. Let's save. Hit the play button and see. Shoot, and let's reload. No, that didn't fix anything, because we did not give any extra time. So let's just add some extra stuff, make it a bit longer than previously. Do that, we're going to go here into the edit time transition. We're going to change this to 977 instead of 8. We're going to give it extra time to keep the state working. Same thing for this one. We're going to come here, move this and put it on 9. Now let's see what happens. If I shoot and let's reload. Wow, that was great. That looked pretty nice. It looked like he was doing good reload animation. So that's it really. I mean, that is it for the video. That'll be the end of the final part. So we fixed those issues, made everything look great in the reloading animations, and yep, that's pretty much it for the part 32. That'll be the end of this one. Now, thanks for watching, and leave a like if you can.